Clarendon presently has 22 divisions.
Okay.
All right, electoral divisions they call them. In previous years, before this we had 19. 3 was added on in 1998. 3 new divisions were created. As a matter of fact, Mineralized Division was created in 1998. Maple North was created, and Milk River Division was created in 1998. Of course, as the population increases, then we have to create more divisions, similar to constituencies.
Hello and welcome to the first in a series of Councillors Update here on the Resource Connector, a continuation of the Local Governance and Community Development series brought to you in partnership with the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. I am your host, Winston Sharia-Whittle. If this is your first time tuning in, whether you're joining us live or you're watching the replay, a warm welcome to you. So if you missed last season, we started off the discussion in the Local Governance and Community Development series looking at the administrative arm of the Municipal Corporation. So we would have gone through all the divisions, the departments in the Municipal Corporation as to what exactly they do, how they serve you, the public, and what they intend to do differently going forward to ensure that you stay informed of what's going on there. So for this season, we are going to be giving the councillors the platform to share what is happening in their division and what will be happening going forward in the different division, where you can have your questions answered and learn more about what's going on there. So we're starting off with the Rocky Point and Mineral Heights divisions in Clarendon. And joining me to get the ball rolling is none other than His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Winston Maragh, Mayor of Mapen. Welcome back, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Good to be here once again.
Awesome. Third season, you closed out season 1. You were on in season 2 and you're back in season 3. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So we started the discussion last year, and I would have shared earlier the clip about the 22 divisions, because I was surprised to hear that we were at 22. And don't worry, we're going to be covering them all throughout 2023. So if your councillor will be on to share what's happening in your division, your community, going forward. So we also had a little chat, Mayor, last year about a day in the life of a councillor. So let's take a look back at what you had to share.
Okay. A councillor who really is about serving the people, not only people who voted for you, but everybody, because whatever you do, you're doing it for everybody. So we always bear that in mind. I mean, if I fix a street and on Winston Witter live on this road, it's not only Winston Witter lives on this road, but you still have a lot of other people living on that road, and everybody have to use that road. Right. So if you do beautification work, everybody utilize that space. If you clean a drain, then it affects a number of people. So of course you have to just tell yourself that you're representing everybody, and of course, just like you said earlier, they like to know that their representative answers the phones,
Yes.
Especially since we have cell phones nowadays, so you carry it around. It's not like we used to just have a house phone or an office phone. No. So everybody wants to get in touch with you, and every little issue in the various communities, they call the councillor first as the first point of contact. The councillor. If the NWC locks off the water, the councillor gets called. If JPS locks off the electricity, the councillor gets called. If the garbage truck doesn't come, the councillor gets called. So a lot of people don't understand, and people are still of the opinion that we control directly the garbage collection system and the street sweeping system. But that was taken from us some time ago, and that was placed some regional companies.
Right.
Clarendon would fall under this region, southern region. So it's Southern Parks and Market that really collects the garbage and take care of the streets, sweeping, and so on.
Right.
and they are overseen by the National Solid Waste Management Authority. So we don't have any direct control, but of course they call us. We have to call the people.
Do
Of
you have a
course,
team
of course.
in your division that works with you as a councillor?
Yes, yes, I do have. We have an organization set up, so we have our leaders in the communities. So of course, but since the advent of cell phone, everybody wants to communicate directly. So they don't want to go through anybody again. They just want to call the councillor. We also report to the citizens groups, the community development committees, and so on. And so there was a time when SDC wasn't functioning in the Rocky Point division where I represent. And I went around myself and started the community groups. They had fallen by the wayside, like any other organization sometimes. And so I took it upon myself and I went into every community. And I called out everybody. I went house to house. I said, you need to come. I don't care which party you voted for, which party you support, you need to come. Because if I'm going to be your representative, then we have to communicate. I just want to just go to the parish council in those days, I call it, right? I don't want to go to the parish council meeting and just take it on my head and say, Mitchelltown want a street light here, Mitchelltown drain need to be cleaned, or the street need to be cleaned. I want to hear from you if that's what you want.
That's right.
So, right. And so I started all of those. And I maintain them. I attend meetings regularly in my division. Well, I have to call it my division now. I've been there for quite a while. But it's really a different division that I represent.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's the Rocky Point division. And you would have shared how it is that you ended up being responsible for Mineral Heights, and that's by virtue of your internal organization. You can just do a quick reflection on that as to why that you're representing two divisions.
Right. So the Municipal Act states that wherever there's no representative, no councillor, for whatever reason, whether the councillor dies, whether the councillor resigns, or just leave the work, what happens is that, or is elevated, because we have 3 or 4 divisions now that the councillors are elevated to being members of parliament. So we do have about 12 or 13 island-wide now. So the Municipal Act says that wherever there's no councillor in a particular division, then the mayor automatically assumes the role.
All right, awesome. So now the viewers understand why it is that you're representing 2 divisions and we don't have 2 councillors here for this episode. All right, so when we started looking at the administrative arm last year, we started out with the money part. So we had Sir Wayne Brown coming on to share about the budget. And so we're going to start right with the money because it takes cash to care, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So share with the community, how is it? How are the divisions funded? We're going to start with Rocky Point. So how are the divisions funded? Sure. And just give us a rundown on the budget, the current position of the budget, and the financial status of the division. And then we take it from there.
All right. So the divisions are mainly funded by the parochial revenue fund. And that also is funded by the motor vehicle license fees. So when you license your car or your truck or your bus at the Maypen tax office or the Lionel Town or Chapelton tax offices, then that money goes through the system to the Ministry of Finance. Then they split it. They take out a third, give to the National Works Agency, and 2/3 come back to the Ministry of Local Government. And they also take out a little percentage to go into another fund, which is called Equalization Fund. And then we get the rest. So how that works now is that presently where we are, and I can tell you, we started out at $300,000 in 1997. Where we are now, we are at $3 million. So 4 divisions get, or 5 divisions sometimes, depending on how much money is returned to us for that month. But 4 or 5 divisions receive an allocation of $3 million to do a particular road. So of course the council chooses the roads. Now you'll have to understand that the roads depend on what type of asphalting you're using. If you're using asphaltic concrete, which everybody commonly calls Baba Green, Okay? And if you're using asphaltic concrete, then $3 million would just be able to do like 150 meters. But if you're using a regular chip and spray, which is a tar on the gravel, then you'll be able now to do 300 or 350 meters of roadway. And it all depends on the width of the road as well. You see? So it's not much. But what we do in Clarendon, and every municipality allocates their funds differently. In Clarendon, what we do is that we set up a roster. And so every 4th and 8th month, we use those funds for drain cleaning. So we clean the drains that come under our purview. And in December, we use that money, we use it November money in December to do beautification, which everybody calls Christmas work, right? Bushing. So that's mainly how we are funded. So it is left to the councillor now to go out there and seek funding. So in my case, I seek funding, I write projects. I hunt money wherever, the different agencies, the different ministries, and so on. And so we get additional funding to do things in the division. So for instance, I recently wrote some projects and I got funding, and I'll be putting in a slew of solar streetlights in the Mitchelltown Park. So that park.
Hold that a little while, Mayor. we soon get to that aspect of it. But you said the funding is for road, but your function as a mayor takes in more than just road. So So as a division, where are you now? Tell the people where you're at in terms of finances.
So yes, well, so that's as much as we have for the division. Of course, you know, the property taxes as well goes into the local government system. But you know, property tax is used for 4 different things. It's used for the street light bills. It's used for beautification. It's used for garbage collection, and it's used for fire service. So, of course, the property taxes is stretched, right? And so that's where we are in respect of that. But like I said, you have to be creative and you have to go there and seek funding.
All right. So as it relates to protocols for procurement, because Sir Brown had shared that there's a process that you go through. How does the budget process in the division and their approval and disbursement of work, how does it tie in with the protocols?
Okay, well, what happened is that we have, I think it's October, November. What we do, we present the budget. We put the budget together, our team, in the accounts department, Mr. Wayne Brown and his team, and they put the budget together, and we send that into the Ministry of Local Government. And then now we have to, by law, present the budget to the people. So we normally either choose a community to go into a town or somewhere, or nowadays we're doing a lot of things online since COVID, so we can always have an online meeting and reach the entire parish. So we have to do that, and then now it has to be approved by the finance committee. Whatever we're doing has to be approved by the finance committee, and after that, now it all depends on if we have to go to procurement, depending on the size of the sum and so on. If we are procuring for a contractor, most times we do the work in-house ourselves. They call it forced account. We get a quicker turnaround time. You know, the procurement process takes quite a while. Like right now, this program that the Prime Minister announced 3 years ago for the housing schemes to be rehabilitated, the first 100 schemes since independence. And in the case of Clarendon housing scheme, the time it takes for the whole procurement process to go through, the Public Procurement Committee of Parliament throw out the thing and say, no man, everything gone up since that, so you have to retender again.
Wow.
You see? Yeah, so the procurement process does take some time.
Okay, but how does the team in the division support the preparation of the budget for the specific division? How does it really work, so we can understand it?
Yeah, well, there's not much people in the division unless we go into a particular division with that presenting the budget. But and of course, it's our responsibility to ensure that people are aware of the amount of funds that we have spending, because a lot of people believe that we have an unlimited amount of money.
That's right. That's why
That's
we're
one.
having this discussion, so you can share.
Yes, some time ago, a lady, funny enough, a lady was a teacher. She asked me for some money to buy gas for her car. It just so happened that I was broke that evening. So I said, well, teacher, I'm broke. Sorry. And she said, Councillor, I'm broke. Lie, I tell. Oh, Councillor, I'm broke. Even them believe that, teacher believe that we have unlimited funds.
Right. But for those who did not know, there is a process. So even if you're going to be spending funds, it has to be accounted for, because it's a public purse.
And everything has to be approved. Everything has to be approved by the finance committee.
Right. So it's similar to what happens at the other level, central government.
Yeah.
It's just that you see everything that takes place at central government. You see a number of the ministers reporting on the different projects that they're working on, which takes us into the other aspect of the discussion about your community development projects. And we are going to be starting off with Rocky Point.
Okay.
What are the projects that's ongoing in Rocky Point?
Okay, well,
how are they going?
Presently, we are finishing up the water project. Not finished completely, but I'll explain. I'm a member of the Rural Water Supply Board. And 2 years ago, I was the chairman of the projects committee. So I used the opportunity to make sure that the division I represent have water. Because, we have been suffering for quite a while. So what we did, we built a new pumping station at Portland Cottage, at the junction there, going into Portland Cottage. And we also built a new 65,000 gallon tank up at Cllr Heights housing scheme. So those people could get water up there. And so we're pumping the water up into Portland Cottage. All the hilly areas, I can tell you this much. The primary school in Portland Cottage, that has been there some 75 to 30 years. And it's the first now that they can turn on a pipe in the school, on the school compound, and get water coming through the lines. So previously we have to truck water up there every week, you see. So yes, and we have replaced all the pipelines, all the old pipelines in Portland Cottage, and have laid pipelines in every street that didn't have any before. We did the same thing in Rocky Point, and Mitchelltown. We put in a new mains. We have not yet finished the streets in Mitchelltown, but we did complete the housing scheme, the streets and the housing scheme. And I can tell you this, madam, you'll be glad to hear this, but Salt River has never had water from day one, never in history. And I managed to get some funding, and I've piped out every street in Salt River. So any house you go into Salt River now, you can turn on a pipe and you can get water.
Yes, I remember the media headlines on that one.
Yes, and of course, in the next financial year, I'm going to move it from Salt River up to Clarendon. I don't know if you know that area. Going towards Cockpit.
Okay, and I need to do some more trekking around that side. I know where Cockpit is.
Right.
So, right.
Well, Clarendon is between Salt River and Cockpit.
All right. Awesome. But with all of those projects that you've been doing, what are some of the challenges that you would have faced in executing those?
Oh, well, right now, just this morning, I had to hook up the Member of Parliament on the phone because the Water Commission manager called to say that he was going to turn off the entire community of Rocky Point because the people not paying. So we had to negotiating and say, no, hold up. And then I have to send out messages now to Rocky Point people and say, you guys better go pay or else you're going to be out of water. So we do have some challenges with the water supply system. But that's not the only project that we have been doing. We are now in the process of building a new kiddies park in Mitchelltown.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds
And then
good.
I just told you that I've just gotten the fund to put up a solar street lights right around the perimeter fence of the park. And so we also are looking at building a fire station for Veer, right there in Lioneltown.
Okay. A lot of things
Yes.
going on.
Yes, well, I'm pushing this year after get funding. Whether I have to walk with tin one out there or something and make money, but we have to start that fire station for Veer. And you know, I have this team coming out of England later on this year who will be coming down to work with us to do some scoping work, they call it, because we're not only looking at a fire station for Lioneltown, but we're also looking at one for Longville Park because the land is there. The land is at Lioneltown already for that purpose. And we're also looking one for Chapelton and one for Kellett. I know it's a tall order, but somebody have to do it, eh?
That's right. And
And we
Longville
have
Park
already
needs one.
identified the land.
Yes, Longville Park definitely needs one based on the level of
Yes,
development.
they have
That's very
3,500 houses over there.
right.
And
Well,
phase 4 and 5 should be starting soon.
yes. All right. An hour might seem like a long time, but not based on what we have to cover. So let's talk
Yes,
about what's going on in Mineral Heights, in the Mineral Heights division, as it
yes.
relates to development.
Okay, well, I don't know if you know this, but the Millennium Mall is in Mineralized Division.
Oh, yes.
Yes, right. All of it right there. And of course, you know, Mineralized scheme itself, we do have some development going on down the bottom section there. And people are building. And you know, the Longville Park as well. People are building. And, you know, they have a very active CDC in Longville Park.
Yes.
Right. So right. So they are on top of things there, eh? So they are working. So little by little, the development might be slow here. Mineralized division mostly consists of residential areas, you know. So
Right.
houses is the key thing.
Okay. So you have a number of the benefit from the NHT.
Yes, yeah,
So
they do.
all right. All right. So a lot going on there. How about community engagement? What initiatives do you implement to ensure that you stay in touch with your divisions, both Mineralites and Rocky Point?
Yeah, well, we do attend the community groups, you know, Citizen Association, the Community Development Committee meetings, and so on. And whenever we get a chance, we go into the churches and tell them what is happening as well. You see, you have to use every opportunity that you see people. So you see, you have
Yes.
to understand this. In most communities, it's just a handful of people who do all the work, you know, all the community work. Same set of people join the PTA, join the political organization, they join the whatever it is, disaster groups. They join all the groups.
Right.
It is an association, everything. They join all the groups. See, just a handful of people. So you have to find ways now to reach the rest of people who don't come out, they don't care.
Yes, because they don't understand that there has to be a way of getting them to understand they have a part to play in the decision making process.
I've always said that, you know, madam. I've always said to people, and I've been saying it for years now, whenever I get the opportunity to speak to a group of people, I say, you guys don't know that the community belongs to you. The community belongs to you. If there's a school there, it belongs to everybody in the community. If there's a community center or a play field, it belongs to everybody, even the young baby who just born, own a piece of that property over there. So it's you should be taking care of it.
Indeed. All right. Let me pause quickly to acknowledge we have some comments in the chat. Welcome, Romeo, Marjorie McDonald, Michael Thomas, Ricardia Ipangs, Uncle Wenji, greetings, Cecilia, Marjorie McDonald again, and Empress. Marjorie McDonald says that they need a kiddies park in Mineral Heights also, Mayor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, so you're getting requests here as well.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, as soon as long as we can identify the property, you know,
I'm sure they're
can
gonna
work on it.
identify one over by Mineral Heights. They do
Yes, yes,
have.
yes.
Are the groups in Rocky Point still active or as active as Mineral Heights and the other
Yeah, we
areas?
do have, yeah, man, we have some citizen, active citizen association groups down there and CDC group, Portland Cottage, Cheltown, Rocky Point. They have their active groups, Larnell Town as well.
Beautiful. All
Yeah,
right, because they're usually represented at the parish development committee meetings as well, which is great.
right,
All
right.
right. So for the other areas who are not feeling, we have to get more involved. All right.
Yes,
You talked a little about infrastructural improvements, Mayor,
yeah,
but you focus primarily on the road repairs, and they say you're putting up some solar lights. What about
yes, yes, yes.
public transportation? What's that like in Rocky Point?
Yeah, well, we do have, well, everybody's into taxis now, eh? There's no buses again running. So what happens is that we are working on a transport center at Larnell Town. We are in negotiations with the owners for the property, and
Right.
we went ahead. We got permission from them. Now we marled it off, We didn't asphalt it, but we marled it off because that's where the JUTC bus used to turn when that was bus from the school bus system that was
Right.
operating before COVID. All right, so we did that, and so we are still negotiating with the owners for a good rate, right, for the property, so that sometime later on this year we can put that in that area. Because
All
we
right.
have to ease also the congestion in the town of Larnell Town. Because you
That's
notice there's a vast influx of motor vehicles all over the place, eh?
that's right. Because you
Yeah,
have
so
very low interest
yes,
rates and no deposit upfront for motor vehicles. So it's much easier to get a motor vehicle than a business loan. But we'll talk
right.
about that on another program.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So in terms of infrastructure, all is well in Mineral Heights. You spoke about Rocky Point earlier in terms of road
Yeah, well,
repairs.
I must tell you that all is not well. Whether mineralized division or Rocky Point division, that the flood rains that we have had last year and the year before, still are not able to catch up back in the road maintenance. We still have a number of bad roads, and we don't have the funding to fix them. But like I was explaining to you just now about the funding that we get, and so we do have a number of roads that are in bad condition. I can tell you that, and so we have to be seeing how we can sometime borrow a grader there or borrow some funds out of the next allocation and get a grader and grade up some of the roads or marl off some of the roads, that sort of thing. So we have to be very innovative to see how we can get there because, I have some people threatening to demonstrate and block road because the road's bad.
Or maybe what you should do is mobilize them to
To
ask
help.
others to pay up the property tax. And for those
Yeah,
who need
yeah,
to, right, so instead of waiting until April 1,
right,
you have an ongoing campaign so you can collect the money so you can get more work done.
right, 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 right. And we still have a lot of people who have not been paying their property taxes, Sometimes I go on the NLA website and the TAJ website, and you can see still a number of people haven't been paying their taxes.
All right. So we need to ensure that those who are blocking the roads understand that that's part of the problem.
You're
Right.
right.
Yes. So for
Yes,
those who
and
are,
some of the bad roads are really not us in our central government road.
but as you said in the opening, that is the councillor.
Councillor
is
gets blamed for everything.
councillor gets the call each time. So the
Yeah,
pressure is on the councillor to go and engage with the member of parliament to ensure that the work gets done.
right, right, right. Yes, yes. We do have a challenge with new street lights, you know.
All right, to see
JPS
that
lights.
it's saying that they had identified some lands of El Park. I'm still waiting
Or they have identified some lands where?
over by Longville Park, so they're still waiting for their health center.
Oh yeah, I know the health center. The land has been has been there for quite a while now. Just like the fire station land. And I know there's a land earmarked for the park as well. So we have made an application for funding to put a park at Longville Park.
What kind of park are we talking about now?
This is a recreation park.
Recreation.
Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We can put in a kids section as well.
All right. Was the Longville Park Health Center part of the overall plan for the parish? And a number of health centers were earmarked.
Yeah, but that's coming up in phase 4. That's coming up in phase. That's on the phase 4 plans.
All right, so that's going to take a little while. So we got Chapelton Hospital back on the map, but Councillor will talk more about that.
Right,
it's a great look. It's a good start. All right. Environmental issues, Mayor. In the opening, we talked about the garbage collection and so on, because even though we look at it as garbage collection is a part of, or can create an issue environmentally if it's not taken care of in terms of the waste management. What's going on down in Point? I know Mineral Heights have been very vocal about the delayed collection of garbage. How are things going in both divisions?
We're still facing some challenges because, of course, this 50 truck that came in, I think Clarendon got 4 out of it, and so it's still inadequate, for us to get back to a proper schedule. And I'm dying for the day, and later on this year when we can get the other 50 trucks, then I know that will make an impact, so we can set up a proper schedule like before. So yes, we still have concerns. Garbage being collected late as usual, but as soon as I get them, the messages, I forward them. Anybody call me, I say just send me a message, and I just forward it to the manager. So and they normally act. And I try to fit it in. But of course, that what we're working on, we're working with the recycling partners of Jamaica. So we will be putting a depot for plastics on my Lionel Town. We have identified the land and everything. So they're working on I think they're working on a drawing now to be presented to us for approval. And then we get that going. So people from the surrounding communities can always drop off your plastics there.
Do they have a timeline on that one, Mayor?
I'll have to talk back to the people in Kingston Recycling Partner to find out what is holding them. But I think sometime this year, though, that should be up and running. Just like we are supposed to have one in Denby, but then the people that we had negotiated for the property, they took it back, so we're now on the hunt for another property for the Mapin area.
Okay, so we're having that. What plans are there for sensitization? Because we can't just put there and expect that people are going to change their habits overnight.
Right. We plan to send out flyers and go into the areas and use up the social media and all of that and so on, and make sure that everybody knows that the depot is there. And in the Rocky Point division here is a coastline here, right? So we do have a lot of environmental issues. But of course, we have CCAM, Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation, and they are the watchdog down there, see?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Ingrid and her team doing an awesome job.
Right.
On that side. Right. So outside of garbage collection, are there any other environmental issues in any of the 2 divisions other than the coastline that you mentioned?
Yeah, of course, there was this time when the Monmouth distillery, the distillery is still operating where they make rum.
Right.
And the waste product from the rum manufacture it, is the dunder. And so
Yes.
there was a time when that used to be flowing out into the sea and killing off the fish and the young fish and all of that and so on. And in the drains and in the river. But the Clarendon Distillers Limited has now put in a system where they have gotten involved in cane production.
Oh.
Yes. So they're planting canes. So what they do, they dilute the dunder with water and they use it to water the cane.
There we go.
All right.
Always
So,
some.
yes. And then, we do have this project going with Professor Forrester and his team. They call it Sadico. And so what they're doing now is replanting the mangroves, because over time the mangroves have died.
Right.
Along the coastline from Cockpit all the way down through to Milk River. So they are doing that project now in the area where they have a team of people replanting the mangroves. And the mangroves protect our shoreline whenever we have storms and so on.
Yes. All right. Beautiful. All right. So a lot of things are happening. It would be nice to see some timelines on these and
yes,
and keep a track on them to see how quickly we're getting them done. All right. So you mentioned Mineral Heights. Out by Mineral Heights, there are a lot of economic development taking place. I saw on your social media page where a new gas station was opened recently. We had the new supermarket opened recently. Any other new businesses or developments that's taking place in those areas?
Well, there's still a number of shops to be taken up over by the mall. And I got some information that that little piece of property right beside the Texas gas station there, where you turn in to go over by the mall, that piece of empty land there. Yeah, that that bus people, Knoxford Express.
Knoxford Express, yes.
Yeah, might set up an office there so that buses just come and turn, load and move from there instead of going into the mall, to the compound. So they might be doing that out that side here shortly as well.
Okay. Is that different from the property that Cllr earmarked for some residential development?
Yes. This is a little piece right out at front here.
Okay. Along adjacent to the road.
Yes.
Oh,
right
all
there.
right. Right. So what's taking place in Rocky Point as it relates to economic development? What plans are in place?
Okay, well, we have been working on, and this again is another project writing thing where we got some funding and we will be reestablishing the salt producing ponds down by Portland Cottage. Don't know if you knew this, but we used to produce salt around here and sell it to Monimusk and Jamalco and all one place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a process where we let in the seawater into some ponds, and then the sun dries the water out and leave the salt there on the surface.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So the funds that we got is more like seed funding. We just want to reestablish a thing so the water can come in and start. Then we can get an investor now with some funds to say, all right, now this is what we have here. You need to come in and take this over. So we'll be doing that in February. Right. We're also working with PIOJ to train a number of people in Rocky Point to do learn how to salt the fish, cure the fish. All right. So we can produce salt fish and all of that. And as well as we're working with them as well to see if we can get funding to put a seafood processing plant there. And I'm also in touch with a gentleman who's originally from Lioneltown. He lives in Kingston, and he wants to now put up a BPO in Lioneltown where he can employ a couple hundred people right there in Lioneltown.
Property identified?
Yes, the property has been identified. That's the same property where we'll be relocating some people from the community of Moorlands. Now, Moorlands is an old abandoned sugarcane community. Of course, when the factory closed down, they lost their water, they lost their light, and they're losing their houses now because everything rotting down on them.
Wow.
So I've gotten a piece of property from SCJH, the Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings, right at Lionel Town there, and we'll be relocating them out there. And at the front section now is where we'll be doing the BPO as well as a seafood processing plant right out there. So people from the surrounding communities can get some employment.
So, sounding good.
And I don't know if when last you have been to Salt River, you know, we have developed the mineral bath.
I saw the pictures.
You saw the pictures. Yeah, I'm telling you. No, we are going on. We are going on. It all started a few years ago when I invited the Minister of Tourism down.
Okay.
And Edmund Bartlett. And from the moment he saw it, he fell in love. He said, all right, first thing you need to do is put up a good bathroom. And so we put up a good bathroom. Then we put in 15 solar lights along the roadside because out here is dark. And then we planted a garden, flowers garden, 2 flowers garden right out at front at the roadside. And now we are putting a roadway, paved, beautifully paved roadway, right? Establish a road to go all around. And we have also shingled off a parking area. All of these weren't there before.
All right.
And we have set up a management committee to manage the facility.
Very important.
And later on, the next financial year, now we're supposed to get some more funds now to do more work on it. So because we have started building a shop, a restaurant. There's one there, and we'll be building out some more in uniform manner.
Yes.
All right. So,
all right. So that's economic development, job creation taking place right there. And
course,
just to tie it all in to let the viewers know, the community members know that that's part of the Clarendon Local Sustainable Development Plan.
Yes, definitely.
Right. And we'll hear more about that as we go forward. Yes. We'll soon take your question, Romeo. All right, so we have some things going on. In terms of I know the report indicated that as it relates to the supermarket, a number of our young people were employed out by the new supermarket at the mall.
Yes.
Right. How many? Do you have any numbers?
I didn't get a figure, but you know, when they were doing the training, you know, I would see them in the evening coming out, and like about 30 of them in all right there.
Right, because they did indicate that they're from in and around the area, which is really good.
Yeah. All right, really and then, you know, all the other stores, all the other food stores and all the other stores that are there have been employing people from the area as well.
Yes, which is great.
All right, and you know, yeah. And
the LEI, Local Economic Initiative. Yes, a number of those local economic initiatives are in your divisions, Mayor.
Yes, and then I was in negotiations with this gentleman who owns this BPO, and it's a well-established BPO in Jamaica. He has places in Kingston, Portmore, and Mandeville, and I took him down here and I showed him the property over there by Millennium Mall. And he said, well, it's a nice place, it's a good place, and he would set up one. But then his managers, he doesn't live here. He lives in India. But then his managers out here now are now saying to me and the Heart Trust, who I introduced them to, that we would have to find a location fitted with computers and phones to do training before they take the people.
Okay.
So no, that's not. That don't sound right at all. All you have to do is set up your place over there and we train them. As a matter of fact, we don't have to train in the first instance because we're starting with 300, and we have identified more than 300 people from the surrounding and from Clarendon.
We have
Yeah,
a lot
who
more
are
than
working in
that.
those places.
That's right.
So it's
Yes.
kind of on hold now and pause until he gets back here. I told him, I sent him a message. I said, this thing is on pause until you come back here.
Yes, we got to get it properly documented, Mayor.
Right.
No false hope. All right. Thank you, Romeo. I'm thankful for the program too because I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. All right. We have still a little way to go. Social services and housing, Mayor, very important. You mentioned earlier about relocating some of our people. We had an
Yeah,
episode where we looked specifically at the Poor Relief Department. We had the World
right,
Homeless Day, and we know that the poverty situation plaguing our parish.
right.
What's going on in those two divisions as it
Okay,
relates to social
all
services and
right.
housing?
Yeah, well, what has been happening is that I've said to the community leaders, and in the Minerals Division, I work through the Member of Parliament and his office, and
Right.
I say to them, I say, let the community leaders go there and identify all of these people who are having issues. Because a lot of people don't know this, but the Ministry of Labour and Social Security have a number of possibilities people can utilize to start a little business. You see, a lot of people don't know this. And so I have in Rocky Point Division, I have the community leaders going around now trying to identify all of these people with these issues. And of course, who can be referred to the PART program, we put them there. They can be referred to the Poor Relief Department, we put them there. And we have always been identifying people for food fit poor houses and all of that as well. You see?
Right.
And so on. So we are working on that. We're trying to take care of everybody. We're doing a comprehensive job, eh?
Yes. So
Right.
how are the community organizations supporting that? Because although not everybody go to church, but you still have some people who go to church. You
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
the schools,
Yeah.
the youth clubs. They have a number
Right.
of youth organizations in the parish. How are we utilizing those organizations?
Right. So
Maximize on the resources.
we intend to send letters out to them and let them know this is what we are doing. Please to identify and get back to us with all the information. And then we'll make all efforts to get them on board something. Because there are a lot of opportunities there.
Indeed. All right.
Yeah.
Margie McDonald is asking if there's any place can make a laundromat.
Okay. That could be done in Minerals or Longville Park, yes.
All right. You heard that?
Something like that you need in a housing scheme with a lot of people, or else you're not going to make any money.
You can check Sagicor to see if they have a space over there. They still have some shops.
They do have a number of shops left.
Right. So you can find out if that's a good fit, Marjorie. So reach out to Mayor and make sure you get the information. All right. Before we take the other questions, very important, Mayor, what is your vision for the two divisions and how does the vision fit into the wider parish and the municipal corporation's vision?
Well,
to tell the truth. Point and then
to tell the truth. Oh, I should have told you before this that the long-awaited Portland Cottage Health Center, which I'd gotten some funding some time ago to rehabilitate and to repair. Of course, I'm also on the Southern Regional Health Authority board. You see, so I utilize all of those functions. They call leverage, to get things done. But I would love to see every road asphalted in both divisions. I'd love to get the funding to asphalt every road, properly paved with curb walls, sidewalks, and drainage systems. And love to see street lights on every post, because with what is happening nowadays, we need the security. You see, on every post. And I'd love for the day when everybody would be employed. all who want employment would be employed. You see, and that would reduce the crime as well, and all of that. And I'd love to see the Larned Town Hospital upgraded to another level so that we can take care of all our needs down in that section. But as you heard, we're working on the health center so we can do some primary health care in the communities in the meantime.
Right.
You know, so we don't have to rush the hospital system. And what I'm aiming to do, I'd really like to put in a separation of garbage separation program, whereby we have separated the plastics from the regular garbage, cardboard, paper, and so on. And we have the food waste now going to make compost. So that we can have more farmers doing organic farming so we can eat healthy food. I would love to see that there happening. And we're also working on a marine police post for Rocky Point. We got some amount of funding already, but we need some more. And so we're actively working on that one to see where we can get the rest of funds. But we got some funds already from the Customs Department, and we are supposed to get some more from another agency to put in a marine police post. But what I said to them, we don't want to only put a marine police post down there, because with what is happening in Rocky Point, you know, sometimes they just flare up and kill off each other. So what we want is a room or 2 rooms added on to that, so we can have a police post for land as well for the community right there. So we have identified the location already and everything down there. So we're working on that one as well.
Okay, beautiful.
And of course, I'd love to see my fire stations up and running. The Longville Park one and the Larned Town one.
Right. So how does all of that tie in with the overall vision for the parish?
Yeah, no, it ties in. It ties in. If you look at the LSDP, you'll see where it says that we need fire stations. But of course, from time to time, we revise the LSDP, you see. So even if, let's say, Longville Park is not listed as having a fire station, we revise like every 5 years. And so we say, okay, well, it is needed now because we have 3,500 houses and we have another 2,000 coming.
Right. And for the viewers who are not yet aware, LSDP is Local Sustainable Development Plan. If you missed the last episode in the Local Governance and Community Development series, you would have missed quite a bit on what's happening there. And Mayor, you have to remember, even though you and I know about the plan and what's going on, we have to make sure the viewers are aware and understand how it ties into the overall development for the parish. All right.
I know. Whenever I'm talking to anybody, I always tell them about it, and I always say, "Give me your email address, and I send a link to you." It's such a huge plan that we can't print it, so we just send the link to you.
Right, and we'll be having an update on that later this year, so you can look out for that. All right, there are some questions here. We're going to take them quickly because we need to wrap up with the upcoming events and announcements for those 2 divisions specifically. All right, Romeo is asking, the area that's fenced off at the old railway station in Maypen, what's happening there?
Yeah, I think that was done by the owners for the property. That's the railway corporation people. I don't know what plans they have there. They didn't say.
Okay, so nothing has been submitted as yet for approval?
No.
Okay. Michael Thomas says this might be above your pay grade, but is there any consideration for the Denby Showground to be developed as a central park for the parish of Clarendon? Oh, Lord.
We have had a number of discussions with the Jamaica Agricultural Society people because, you know, they own the property. And so we just have to find some investor who is willing to put up the money. And you can sit down with the JAS people and say, all right, this is what we'd love to see here. And I'm sure they'd be ready to, you know, to talk about it.
Okay, awesome. All right. On the matter of people for the BPO, Roman sharing that 100 people were assessed by the Heart NSTA Trust last year, that's 2022, in customer
Yeah, I remember that.
care, level 2, and are ready for the
Yeah,
BPO sector.
very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Ava
Yeah,
says
we keep them in mind.
yes, one of Mayor's strength is he always answers his phone. He is a reservoir of knowledge and vision. Right, Mayor?
Thank you, Eva.
All right. So we're going to take the other upcoming events, but let's hear. Oh, Mayor's cough is coming on, so let's wrap up. Mayor,
Yeah.
upcoming activities for the
Okay. Well,
two divisions.
yeah. Well, we do have a number of activities. As a matter of fact, we intend to have some town hall meetings. I'll be talking to the member of parliament as well about that. We need to. Communication is key, eh?
That's right.
Communication can't be too much. I mean, I go to funeral services every Saturday and Sunday and whenever I can in the week. But and I always try to drop in some little things. But of course, we need to have some community meetings in both divisions, And of course, we are setting up a roster right now for that, the member of parliament and myself, so we can do some more communicating with our people. There are a number of upcoming events, but to tell the truth, I can't follow them. I have to depend on Mr. Baldwin Mackenzie to tell us about all these upcoming events, because him is like a tape recorder, I know him. Yeah, he know everything about that.
Always out there in the fields. All right.
Yeah,
So yes. So Ava is sharing one here. Longville Park Police will host Rosewell Community Meeting tomorrow evening, January 27th at 5 p.m. at the Rosewell Square. All are invited.
we are good.
All right. This one is for the Maypen Division. The DAC will be having an online meeting with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Around the end of February, the Zoom link will be shared. All right.
Right.
I'm not sure, remembering which of the councillors will be up for next month, but we can have the information shared at that time, Romeo. Just remember. All right, we can still have it shared on the next local governance and community development series, 4th Thursday. We can have the information shared so we can stay abreast of what's happening in the different divisions. Mayor, thank you so much for sharing with us. I know it's a lot more that's going on.
Yes. I
Thank you
can't
so
remember
much.
everything. I can't remember everything in 1 hour, man.
And
Yeah,
everything couldn't fit in the 1 hour either, but I'm glad
yes,
that
yes,
the
yes.
viewers got
But
something
it's a
from it.
pleasure of mine to be here because, like I said before, I like to communicate with people, and I like to take the time to explain so people understand.
Indeed. And let
Yeah,
me thank you and the councillors in Clarendon who embraced this initiative to get on and provide updates for the different divisions, so the citizens have a better understanding as to what exactly is happening in this space. Because although there are a lot of things that are yet to be done, things are being done, and we want to focus on the positives and move from there. And I'm sure that we have one of our media correspondents from Clarendon on. Let me thank you for tuning in. Let me thank you for tuning in. Are there others? As a matter of fact, all of you were able to tune in live or you're watching the replay. Thank you for tuning in. I trust that you are more aware of what's happening. Please remember to subscribe, set your notification, like, comment, and share so that others are aware of what's happening here. We're going to be continuing the updates with the councillors. We have 2 councillors coming up for the next episode on 4th Thursday in February. Based on the schedule, we have Frankfield and Hayes divisions coming up next. So you want to stay tuned for that. But we connect here on the Sorrento Resource Connector every Thursday, 8 p.m. live. First Thursday, we have the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission with Culture Corner. Second Thursdays, it's the Community Safety and Security Series, and we have expanded into Area 3. Last year, we were looking at Clarendon. Now we're in Area 3, so we'll be be covering what's happening in community safety and development across Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. So do stay tuned for that. Look for the schedule. Thank you so much, Uncle Wayne G. Adoration at TV Central 97 in Clarendon. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, Mayor,
Wayne
you
G,
want
you was
to share
listening,
that you're on Central?
Yes.
What's the date that you're on and the time again?
Oh, it's every last Tuesday. Every last Tuesday, 3 o'clock, between 3 and 4.
All right, Uncle Wayne G, put the name of the radio station on for me, please, and thank you. You know I usually mess up the numbers. 96.3 FM. There we go.
Yeah.
So you want to tune in to have as Mayor share on that program. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Very informative. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the feedback. And remember to leave your comments on YouTube, like and subscribe, because that's how we get more out to the viewers. We have been very consistent, over 2.4 thousand views consistently for the last 28 days, every day coming up. I've been tracking it, but we want to see the numbers going up so more people can become aware of what's happening here. It's not just Clarendon. People from all over Jamaica, across the world are tuning in. So thanks again, Mayor. Thanks to the team at the Clarendon Municipal Corporation and Team Clarendon in general. Do have yourself a blessed night.
Okay.